Cybersecurity is a huge field. Cybersecurity involves network security, infrastructure security, cloud security, application security, and a lot of other things. In this video, I'm going to explain the types of application security and its tooling. And the aim of this video is to give you these concepts in as simple language and as quickly as possible. First, let me try to give you a one-liner about this application security types and its tooling. First and foremost, we have SAST. SAST is used to review your source code before it gets compiled and look for any vulnerabilities and threats. SAST stands for Static Application Security Testing. Then we have DAST. DAST tool looks at your application while it's running in production, and it updates you if it finds any vulnerabilities or threats. DAST stands for Dynamic Application Security Testing. Then we have IAST. IAST stands for Interactive Application Security Testing. Now, IAST also reviews the application while it's running, but in a controlled way, for example, during your testing. Then we have RASP. RASP stands for Runtime Application Self-Protection. RASP purpose is to keep an eye on application from within while it runs and block any threat from originating from within the application. Then we have WAF, or WAF stands for Web Application Firewall. It's a layer 7 firewall and it works on the network level where it filters, monitors, and analyzes the packets related to the application. And then we have SCA, which is stands for Software Composition Analysis, and it reviews any third-party or open source libraries being used in your code for any vulnerabilities. Okay, now we have done the one-liners. Let's have a look into all of these in bit more detail. Again, SAST stands for Static Application Security Testing. So, for example, if you have a CI/CD pipeline, during the CI phase, we push our code and merge it into any Git repository where all the source code resides as a single point of truth. And then in the next phase, in the CI phase, we build it or compile it and then generate artifacts. Now we know that the SAST tool only works on source code. So in this case, we can integrate our SAST tool with our Git repo. And before it gets compiled or built, we use the SAST tool to review it for any vulnerabilities. That is what SAST does. Then we have DAST tool. DAST tool works on the application while they are running in preferably in the production environment, and they have no knowledge of what exactly is the source code. So DAST is also called as a black box testing method that scans the application in runtime. It is applied later in the pipeline after it gets deployed into the production. Some people also deploy it during the CD pipeline, but mostly it is used for the production environments. It is also a good method for preventing regression and doesn't depend on any specific programming language because it is not looking at the source code, unlike SAST tool. Then we have IAST, which is Interactive Application Software Testing. Now, as I mentioned earlier, both DAST and IAST tool look at the application while they're running, whereas DAST look at the application when it is running in the production, and on the opposite side, IAST tool look at the application when it's running but in a controlled environment. For example, you have freshly built your application and now you want to deploy it in the your UAT environment and you want to test it there as how its runtime behavior is. For that matter, you can use IAST tooling in the controlled environment. The downside of this approach of IAST is that it makes IAST programming language dependent. But then that doesn't matter if you already have your standard programming language and you have already have the skill set for it. Anyway, then we have the RASP tooling. As I mentioned earlier, the RASP stands for Runtime Application Self-Protection, and the purpose of RASP is to review or monitor the application from within while it runs and block any threat originating from the application. It acts as a net, by the way. There are two main functionalities provided by the RASP tooling. One is to detect and block security vulnerabilities and malicious activity within the application during runtime, and the other one is to provide deep code level visibility within the application and producing insights that help the security team understand who is attacking their organization, their methods, and motivation. For example, if you have a compromised application and it is trying to propagate itself or trying to access the part of your other running components in your organization which it's not supposed to do, then RESP can identify it and alert you. Then we have SCA. No serious application at an enterprise level is complete with any imported libraries. Even if you build a small application these days, you have to import some modules and libraries because you can't build everything from the scratch. This is where SCA comes very handy because you cannot go out and review all the open source libraries and third party libraries or modules which you are importing in your code. So SCA tool sits there and it monitors your application, review your application for any third party code dependencies, and then tells you if you are using a vulnerable version of that third party or open source library and alerts you about it. Then we have WAF. So WAF is a layer 7 HTTP or HTTPS firewall. It filters, monitors, and analyzes network traffic for any threats. And so it is sort of a software device or appliance that protects your organization by looking at the packets at the network level for your application, and then it is also responsible for blocking threats before they reach the application. So it is a parameter tool. Again, if you are looking for a difference between RASP and WAF, then remember that WAF is n- just at a network level, whereas RASP is your at within your application, and both have the same purpose to protect your application and the other applications from any threat on the network level. Okay, I hope that you found it useful. If you have any question or feedback, please put it in the comment section. And before I close this video, I have mentioned some of the tools and companies in this video. I want to disclaim this that I have no affiliation with these companies or tooling. So if you're looking to deploy any of the tool, please do your own research and do a POC and then select the product as per your organization and your budget. I hope that this was useful. Please put any feedback in the comment section. Thank you.